Oh, there we go. Let's go to the coach.
Even if he clears protocol this week.
Yeah, was there some saltiness with that? Some MD? Sorry, I was laughing at that. So, no, it'll be exciting for today because, as you know, really in these situations, you are relying on all medical advice and what people can do, and what I've been told is he can go out and throw and do some individual work this week. So, or today. So that's exciting for everybody, just because, really we just miss his personality. He's a guy that we rely on, that, not to mention all of his play and all that stuff. Now, when talking about this week and playing, I don't see a scenario. I don't see him being active, and I'm not gonna. I do not plan to have him play at all. It's something that this whole process is a little tricky, and today he's just getting back to playing football for the first time in 2 weeks. He hasn't been on a field playing football in 2 weeks. So today the focus is, again, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself and think about the Z component. I'm worried about A, and A is getting him on the field and having him throw a football and being around his teammates. And that's what today's step is. And then moving forward, we'll go about 12 to 24 hours, right? But I can say with certainty that he's not going to be playing this Sunday.
So what's the update on Bridgewater?
What's the update on Bridgewater? Bridgewater, Teddy, right? Teddy is currently progressing through the protocol. He feels good. His the soreness on his pec is getting better. But in this stage of the protocol, he is unable to do anything football related with his team. So you guys will, when you guys are out there, I'm sure you'll see him, but he won't be with the rest of the guys. He'll be on the side working with the trainers and trying to progress through this stage of the protocol as deemed.
Does that automatically mean, or likely mean, that Skylar is going to be the quarterback Sunday?
No, so the really that Teddy's whole week is going to be he's just getting back and able to do and work with the trainers today. Tomorrow he'll be able to do a little bit of football in a limited capacity, and as a result, we'll be moving forward with planning on starting Skylar Thompson this week.
You mentioned Teddy will be able to do limited tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm correct, would that be stage 3 of where he is in the process?
The stages are a foreign language to me. I don't really keep up with them because it's very simple. You're dealing with all these medical professionals that are giving you instructions on what someone's allowed to do. And what I do know is he's allowed to do non-contact football tomorrow in a limited capacity. So he's that's where we're at. I'm not really sure what stage that is, but that it's the stage, as I understand it, is that he can play a little football, but it can't be in any sort of situations where he can engage in contact, and that thus it has to be a very limited role.
Scenario in regards to that, I know that position's different than others because of the prep during the week.
Mm-hmm.
If he is, for say, cleared or Friday or Saturday, what's your comfort on being able to play without having much full practice?
But that's a tricky question. That as long as everything goes to plan, with regard to his protocol procedure, I'm very confident that he'll just in Teddy in general, and so he'll be active for the game in that scenario and be backing up Skylar.
With Tua, that report that Barry so eloquently described, it said that even if Tua is cleared, that he won't outplay on Sunday. Was that accurate? And if so, what's the threshold between being cleared medically and being you comfortable putting it back at risk?
No, so that it is accurate in that there is a definite scenario that he will be cleared before Sunday's game, but in this particular scenario with regard to him, like I just said, he hasn't done a thing on the football field for literally 2 weeks. So I don't think that wouldn't be fair to the player. That wouldn't be fair to the team. I think that's something that that I don't feel comfortable putting him in that situation. So I guess whatever Barry's sources are, they're pretty accurate, and I need to find out who your sources are.
No, I was citing a report from Rappaport.
Those are
their report.
So you got some big time sources, huh?
Well, I think everyone in the room saw the report.
Oh.
Mike, if Tua's not going to play on this Sunday, is the target for him to play in the Steelers game?
I'm just trying. I'm excited to get him on the football field and see. There's some progressions we have to make in terms of, hey, he has to throw a pass. As far as his exact timeline of when he's going to play, I'll be excited to consider that whenever that comes up. But right now, I'm just really focused on him getting out there and feeling good and being around his teammates, and those types of decisions aren't in the immediate future right now. I'll handle that when that comes after. Let's just get through this week and see where we're at, is basically the way that I look at it.
And the report said that Tua was evaluated by 4 independent specialists.
Mhm.
I guess the first time after the Bills game, you were confident in the evaluations that happened. I guess, how do you feel now about the evaluations, about where Tua is, that he can practice today and is clear to practice?
Well, again, I as a football coach, you want to make decisions based upon information, and I'm much more comfortable making decisions in my area of expertise. So it's one of the reasons why we were excited to get some of the best, most renowned people in their field of expertise and get their opinions on, and so that I'll be relying on those exclusively, because I do not fashion myself as a brain expert. So that's one of the reasons you get multiple opinions, and you see the most skilled, highly prepared, schooled, and knowledgeable professionals that you can get your hands on, so that you can have the most information possible from experts and not layman's.
I hope you give us updates on, some of the injuries, but X, Armstead, Tyreek, and
I think that was 3. X and Armstead need the whole week. You'll see X out there today. I don't think you'll see Armstead, but that's one of those situations that it's kind of become the norm, hasn't it? But we just kind of have to take it day by day. So I know they'll do the best they can to move forward and play the game, because I know it's eating at them. And then the third, Tyreek Hill, he's he'll be out there today. He's going to get some work in, and he won't be practicing with a boot on.
Coach, on Monday, you had alluded to your captains kind of embracing that role of team captain, coming off these 2 losses and some adversity here this season. What are you hoping to see from those guys this week?
Well, I'm hoping to see them. I think we had 3 out of our 7 captains last game play the entirety of the game. So I'm hoping to see them, one, but also this is, as I've stated to you guys, but I've stated to the team, this is not something that is foreign to NFL teams. You lose 2 in a row. That's the adversity that in one way, shape, or form happens to every single team. And captains need to help lead people in the direction out of that. So how do you do that tangibly? A multitude of ways. And you know, I really put a lot of pressure on those guys to make it their team, because it is. So you know, one example that I was pumped about is, I think you guys will have an open locker room today. Tyreek and the captains decided that you know, they wanted to take a step forward with all of their opponent prep with regard to the team and their preparation with our game plans in general. So he made the move to take the ping pong tables out of the locker room. That to me is leadership. To me, leadership is acting, not talking. There's a bunch of different examples from those guys. And that's why they're captains, and that's why I rely on them, because it's about solving problems, not complaining about them. And they collectively, as a group of players, wanted more time investment during the week on their jobs for Sunday. So instead of just saying it, they did something about it, and that's the whole reason that you know, I really have a lot of love for those guys.
I wanted to ask you about Skylar, because some coaches would start the veteran even on limited work as opposed to the rookie. What gives you the confidence that he's able to handle that moment?
What gives me the confidence is that, you know, I wouldn't do it if I didn't think the team would agree in terms of their confidence for him. You know, you're always trying to keep the pulse of how everyone feels. You know, the quarterback's job is to make people better, and he's, as you guys have noticed, as a lot of people have noticed, he's not the run-of-the-mill rookie. But also, like, it's not just about the quarterback. It's about a collective group of individuals working together, and he's going to have the opportunity to have all the full speed reps this week because of the position that Teddy is in the protocol. And you know, we're very fortunate to have 3 quarterbacks that our guys really believe they can operate at a high level with. So it wasn't that difficult of a decision for me to make in this set of circumstances.
Like when will you make a decision on Green Senate and whether you need to have a 3rd quarterback available on game day?
Yeah, you know, I think the way things are going, it's probably going to be later in the week, because you know, I can't wait what's in store for me today. You know, there's a lot of moving pieces, especially when you have you know, limited game day active situation, and with all the guys that really strain to make it on game day, with all of our bumps and bruises, that compounds that whole decision a little bit. So you end up having to take the week to kind of process everything, see where people are at, see you know, to make sure that those guys feel healthy, and you know, if the need is necessary, that does come at a cost to another roster spot for that game day active. So you have to assess where that comes from, what groups can afford that, and so there's a lot of different variables that go into that equation.
What's one teaching point that maybe you could share with us that you've given to Skylar after his first real game action going into this week?
I guess when I talked to him yesterday, I talked to all those guys yesterday. One thing I said to him is that you take stuff, you learn stuff, but you also have to understand what the situation was last week. I want you, he was, there were some things that he was definitely happy with. He definitely left the game feeling like, just like he thought in the preseason, that he's an NFL player, but also that, I made sure to, hey, look at these 10 plays that I know you're not happy with. Okay, what's this common denominator? There was some footwork stuff. There was some timing stuff, all of which you can kind of connect to. That was his first live full speed rep of, that footwork, that concept, that, that progression. So this week you're going to be afforded all of those full speed reps. Understand that game is that game. Take it for what it is. You got basically your first start out of the way. This week you have a great opportunity to hone in on the details of all the things you'll be asked to do on Sunday. And so move forward with that and gain confidence with that, because if that's the worst that we'll see, which, you talk about controlling the controllables, and you can, if you're going into a game, especially as a rookie, completely blind without reps, if that's the worst you're going to do, we're all right. So you should get confidence in an ironic way from that game, that you, without a shadow of a doubt, can play up to your own personal standard. And that I wanted him to, because to me, that's a big deal. And it made me confident in him that he was able to do what he did, own the game plan, and be a pretty darn good decision maker without having anything full speed of that given game plan, which in this game, in the National Football League, the difference between that is the difference between an interception or a completion. So timing is everything. This full speed work is vitally important, and I know he's going to make the best of it this week. So be excited and just go after it, because everybody believes in you.
Mike, did I hear you correctly when you said that if Teddy clears protocol, that he would be backing up Skylar?
If there's no setbacks and he clears protocol, yes, he'll be backing up.
What kind of impact can that have for Skylar on the field? Because, on Sunday he goes in, first game action, no teammate, or I guess no quarterbacks on the sideline with him. How big of a difference will having somebody in the room on the sideline?
Huge, because in a game experience for a quarterback, you get coached. There's a lot of stuff going on, and you're taking in information from 1, 2, 3 voices. But then when you have a peer that has gone through it and has seen it, that translation, it might be one word, it might be a pat on the back, that teammate support is a very immensely huge thing for a player like that. And that's the great thing about that room, that we really I hope, all the rooms on our team can really be inspired by that group, because they support each other, they make each other better, and it will make a definitive difference for sure, having that support from his brother on the sidelines this week, because it was a lonely sidelines last week. All Skylar had to talk to was Bevel and myself, and we're great guys, but not that great at conversations. Thank you.
The self-deprecating one. That is Mike McDaniel with the shocker of all shockers. So Skylar Thompson will start for the Miami Dolphins. Teddy Bridgewater will back up as long as he goes through protocols. And that is a real pisser, I got to tell you. So a spotter screws up last week, takes out Teddy Bridgewater, who did not suffer a concussion, now is in protocol. And because of the protocol, it limits what he can do throughout the week. So now that forces you to play your third because he's got to go through these bullshit protocols to then be cleared for a concussion that he doesn't have, and now to be the backup. That's screwed up. But this is what I'm also going to tell you. This is why Tua's practicing this week, because they want to get through the bullshit that they had to get through with Teddy, now with Tua. So next week, he goes back to regular practice because, he went through the whole week last week. No setbacks, no nothing. And then this week, boom, he's ready to go. So I think this is why they're doing this, because if they start next week with this process, then he'll miss the Pittsburgh game. So they bring Tua back now. He probably could have played last week, and get him through what they're doing with Teddy now. So then next week, it's not limited. This week was the limited. So this is kind of what I'm reading or seeing through the trees. And that's what I think this team is doing now. So as frustrated as you are that Teddy is not starting this week because of the ridiculous call of a spotter last week, so it cost you the Jets game because you could have had Teddy. You should have had Teddy the entire game for the Jets. So now the spotter's decision rolls into the Vikings game. So then the Dolphins see what the protocols do, and they say, well, we need to combat that by, hey, he's cleared everything. He's seen 4 specialists. Let's get him out on the field now, and let's get through the Teddy process with Tua this week so we're ready for next week. Wow. That's crazy stuff. That's screwed up. Okay? And this rule is absolutely screwed up. Okay?